Hello, guys. Welcome to Falco K9's live dog show here, dog news. There is a lot, obviously, going on in the news here. Sorry to even start my streaming there. I'm going to do my best to keep this a little bit uplifting. Of course, it's hard to start any kind of show, I guess, without talking about Dallas. I just want everybody to know that as a police officer and a retired police officer, it's been a really weird couple days. And reading, of course, stuff on Facebook, and then all my friends asking me, different questions about stuff that's going on. So at some point, we'll talk a little bit more about it later on, but I want to make sure and get through some of the other things that are happening around here that are a little bit more uplifting and don't want to take away from that. We need to have our thoughts on all those people over there in Dallas that were either in the area at the time of the shooting, the wives and the children of the officers that were killed, and all the stuff that's going on. So I don't want to lose that either. So, and of course, the first thing I pull up on my Facebook page is one of my friends, Celestina Rodriguez, whose husband is a police officer in LA. It's hard. It's hard to deal with the things that are being talked about, and I do want to address it later on because it'd be, again, hard for me not to do that at some point, especially with the close proximity to a ton of police officers and that I've trained and worked with and that kind of stuff. So I want to let you know that this show is now being sponsored. Yes, it's being sponsored by FacebookLiveTVShow.com. FacebookLiveTVShow.com. And I will try to see if I can't put that in the comment section down here pretty soon. It'd be hard to type while I'm talking, but I'll put it in there, and make sure you go there. If you want to learn how to do Facebook Live TV shows, that's a great place to go. It's a training for that, how to do it on the computer, just like I am doing here. We have, in addition to all the stuff that's happening in the news, we have a lot of news happening around here. I want you to know that some time ago we talked about a show that we are putting together for a very popular network on television. And a casting call had gone out, a little note to go out to everybody to say, hey, if you have a dog that you think can do something similar to, something similar to police work, or can search for stuff with its nose and that kind of stuff, you think it could be trained for that kind of stuff, we have the show coming out that can be doing that. Man, I haven't had that frog in my throat all week long, or actually for 2 weeks, and now all of a sudden it comes back. That show is still on. You just know that production, schedules, you have to have all kinds of things that are the planets have to line up for the TV show to start. And so some people go, hey, I thought you were doing a TV show. Yep, well, as far as we know, we still are. And it is still they have a meeting this Wednesday, I understand, to talk about the show. And there's another format they're looking at going to, which makes it even better. So I was really excited to have that call with the executive producer yesterday, I think it was. It was yesterday. And we talked about another show, adding another show to the all the things that I really probably don't need to be doing, but TV shows, I think, take a precedence based on being able to get the message out about training your dog with love and respect. And that's really what it is all about, right? It's about our training truly is about getting your dog ready to not just be in your home, but ready to go outside and to be in the public. So you can go on hikes, and so you can go to Starbucks, so you can go get money out of the bank, right? You want to be able to take your dog with you, and you want to prepare your dog through love and respect training in your house, and then out in the field with us or with a trainer coming to your home, and then go out there and be able to walk around, go to a lazy dog restaurant, and not have to worry about your dog acting out and doing stuff that it shouldn't be doing. So I think it's very important to get your dog prepared for that with love and respect. So the more that we get the opportunity to get on TV and that kind of stuff, it will get that message out that there's a training method out there that's actually very sound and very attuned to the human beings. So if you are somebody that's really busy, right? So our training has to be geared towards the human. Now, our training obviously takes care of the dogs, and we tell you how to take care of the dogs in a way that's humane and respectful and loving. But the training, it really has to be about how is it going to fit into your life as a very busy person, has a lot of stuff going on with kids and sports and work and husband and wife stuff that you should be doing together on a daily basis, right? And now you bring in the dog. So there's that stuff going on. So a few of the stories I want to make sure and let you know about is that we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about a dog that was stuck in a car and the awesome person that rescued the dog. We're going to be talking a little bit about a police dog that captured somebody and why I bring this up, and it's important at the time that we're talking about this. This particular canine capture really is a good story in the midst of all the stuff that's happening in around our world. I want to talk about Yappy Hour, and you'll know that some of you know what that is already, and we're going to be talking about Yappy Hour and what that's all about, and we should have more of it. And how to look for the best pet ever. And so there was a note written to some dog trainer in... I do this every show. I don't know where it's from. It's somewhere in the world. All right. And then I'm going to be talking about something that came up. So we have a lot to talk about. See, I have way too many things. It is fire... What is today? Sorry, I have it here. Oh, there's another one. Sorry. What people can do that own markets and own restaurants to help dog trainers. This is a great story. It's very short, but it's a really, really good story. Oh, here it is. It is, what is coming up? July 15th is, it is National Pet Fire Safety Day. What? You see a dog out there lighting a match and we have to teach him not to do that? Is that what that's all about? No, there's some stuff that's actually pretty good and some stuff that they were really stretching to make it part of National Pet Fire Safety Day. So we're going to talk about that kind of stuff too. All right. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you can see the article. And we are going to go to a place, like I said, somewhere in the United States. This is in Cleveland. So in Cleveland, a Good Samaritan records video of Vermilion police officer rescuing a dog locked inside a parked hot car. Deborah Parker, a retired nurse who also runs the St. Francis Animal Sanctuary in Vermilion, called 911. Of course, she would be coming by when there's a dog inside of a car with the windows rolled up. After noticing the elderly dog inside the vehicle on July 1st outside of the grocery store, all 4 windows were up, said Deborah, and the dog was panting profusely with slobber coming out of his mouth. While patrolman Leo Chandler attempted to open the door, the dog's owner returned. She claimed she was only in the store for about 5 minutes, but the officer said it only takes minutes for a dog to suffer and die in a hot vehicle. According to PETA, no, all right, I won't say anything about that. Hundreds suffer and lose their lives every year in parked cars. Although the temperature that day was in mid-70s, Canine Officer Scott Holmes said it would felt significantly hotter inside the car because closed windows act like a greenhouse and raise temperature about 10 degrees every 5 minutes. It becomes like an oven, said Sergeant Holmes. You're looking at dogs possibly dying and the organs shutting down. And of course, it goes on. So the great story is a police officer comes to a call and rescues a dog, right? It's just, we, as police officers, and since I'm retired, I'm not sure if I can still use we, but I think I can. As a police officer, you respond to hundreds of calls. So I would say on a daily basis, anywhere from 30 to 60 calls a day. And none of the other, right, we only hear about the one that maybe that officer had in his one entire career where he made a mistake, right? Or he did the right thing and now they try to show that it's a mistake, whatever it is. Hundreds and thousands of calls are handled by police officers every day. And this one, a dog stuck in a car, let's get the tools out, let's get this dog out, and let's educate the person. Yes, the temperature rises about 10 degrees every 5 minutes, if not faster. Here in California, in Palm Springs, and maybe not so much in Cleveland. It probably gets hot over there too, but the temperatures here, 150, come on, please. It's going to go up like 10 degrees every minute. So just take care of the dogs. Even, I see as a police officer, and I've witnessed parents leaving their children in cars just to run inside the store really quick. And because they're afraid somebody's going to take them, they roll up the windows, lock the doors, and then something happens, right? It's probably just if you don't have kids, if you're not willing to take the extra time that it's going to take to have your kids. I can't recall ever leaving my kids in the car to run into the store. Right, I may have on a winter day, but when the window's down, I could be a little bit hypocritical here. But I'm just saying, on a summer day, just don't do it. Right, if the sun's out, just take your kids in and take them in, and just deal with the extra time that's going to take you and the extra hassle having to rebuckle them in, and you're only going to be in there for 2 minutes to buy a shot of whiskey or something like that. So just don't go in there. Whatever this lady was going in there to buy, I don't know what she was getting. She could have been getting diapers, but I bet you she was getting like a fifth of vodka. All right, so just just make sure that you don't leave your kids or your dog in a car in summer, in July. Crazy. All right, now let's go to our next story. Okay, Washington K9 captures suspect after shots are fired. Algona, Washington. I just butchered these names. A man was taken into custody Wednesday after allegedly shooting at Algona, never heard of it, police during a morning standoff. The incident began about 4 a.m. when officers tried to apprehend suspects whose name has not yet been released, driving what Algona Police Department officials said was a stolen truck on 56th Avenue South. The suspect led officers on a short chase before hitting a road barricade near Highway 167. A department spokesman said the suspect got out of the vehicle in an attempt to run away and fired gunshots at pursuing officers, the spokesman said. As the situation became a standoff, a police negotiator and SWAT teams were called in. The suspect allegedly fired more rounds at officers and at about 5 a.m. ran toward a residential area. The spokesman said he was apprehended by police K9. The suspect fired 6 gunshots during the standoff, the spokesman said. Police did not fire their weapons. No officer was injured. The suspect was taken into custody, and there you go. So my point of this story, obviously, is that just a great job, great decision making. Now, it was last week I was talking about when to use your dog when it's apparent that the suspect is armed and dangerous. And if you see him there, or he's trapped in, say, like a bathroom, which is behind this camera, and he's in the corner, and you know he's there, the sending a dog into a man who has a knife or has a gun would not be the logical thing to do, because what's going to happen when that dog goes in there? He's going to get shot or he's going to get stabbed, right? And the usefulness of that dog is just, there is none. There is no usefulness for the dog to go in there and do that. He's not going to go in there and negotiate with him. He's not going to go in there and disarm him and grab the knife out of his hand or grab the gun out of his hand and pull it out. That dogs cannot do that. We've trained dogs to do all kinds of fantastic, fabulous things, but they cannot do that. All right, so in this case, why is this different? And somebody is saying, well, last week you said, well, why is this different? So this is a great story. It's the suspect's firing, but the officers don't feel danger, so they're not returning fire. They don't have a shot, whatever it is. They see that the background's not a good one to be firing at. It's 4 a.m. in the morning, so who's really around at 4 a.m. in the morning? But for whatever reason, they made some really sound decisions here, right? They pursued, they chased, they stayed behind cover. They didn't get hurt in the process of taking down this armed suspect. Then the handler had to make a very tough decision. Here goes a suspect who has not only fired at officers during the foot pursuit, but also fired at them while he was barricaded and showing a complete disregard for human life, right? And so now the suspect gets up and runs towards a residential area. Beautifully written press release, number one. You want to make sure and have certain details in there that are important to know. Very good by the desk sergeant and whoever wrote this press release, is that because if a armed suspect who has already shown a disregard for human life is now armed and running towards a residential area, there's no way that uniformed, SWAT-teamed, tactical vest-filled equipment officers are going to be able to run fast enough to catch up to a guy who's probably in shorts and a t-shirt and tennis shoes, all right, or even a Levi's and tennis shoes. There is no possible way that you can keep up. You're carrying your MP5 or your M16 or whatever handgun you're carrying, and all your the stuff on your load-bearing vest, and you're going to try to really catch that guy? No. What's the only logical thing to do? Send the dog. Is it risky to send the dog? Yes, but it's the risk outweighs not using the dog, because the suspect is armed and dangerous, running away. It's harder for a suspect to turn and run and shoot a dog that's running at about 20 miles an hour after him, and we're going to put the dog into that position to take him out. And it went perfectly. Great decision making. Nobody was hurt. Suspect wasn't killed. He was taken into custody. Problem solved. Perfect use of the dog. All right, let's go back to our articles. Great. So that's good. They don't give the officer's name. I wanted to give him a shout out and all those people, but there's no names in there. But great job. I now know Algona. I'm going to look it up and find it's probably a beautiful place. There's all kinds of beautiful places in Washington. All right, let's talk about Yappy Hour. And right there on the right-hand side, I don't know if you can see it, that's my instructor at CrossFit Firestone. So isn't it interesting how ads work, right? This gym that I go to, and Celeste is the instructor there doing some exercise. Oh, she's doing the ropes. This story is coming out of Sheboygan. And an ad on the Sheboygan is that of my CrossFit Firestone. Why is that? Because one of my tabs up at the top is probably CrossFit Firestone, and there it is. And so how cool is that? Well, some people think it's creepy. Some people think it's not cool. I think it's cool because I'm a business owner and I really like it. All right, Yappy Hour. A few things. Sorry, I got a squirrel. I went off on another tangent. Few things can make Happy Hour even better after an exasperating day of work, except maybe bringing your favorite canine along for the party. Now, several restaurants and bars in Sheboygan County are welcoming dog owners who want the perfect cocktail of friendship and puppy kisses during special Yappy Hours. Yappy Hour is in its second year, and the idea first came to Rebecca Hintzman after seeing similar concepts in other states such as Florida. I just thought it's another way to make the Sheboygan area more dog friendly, Hintzman said. It's also a way for people to get the dogs out and socialize. Hintzman, who is the co-founder of Rough Academy Dog Training, there's a plug for Rough Academy Dog Training for anybody that's in Sheboygan, and has established a social club for fellow dog lovers. Knows many people can be shy about asking if any establishment allows dogs, or simply assume dogs are strictly prohibited from most areas. So sorry. She has taken it upon herself to call around and found a surprising amount of places are dog friendly if people follow certain guidelines. This year, Hintzman and her fellow puppy aficionados have mostly held Yappy Hour at the Tiki Bar at Victorian Village in Elkhart Lake and Mojo, or is it Moho? Depends where you're from, on Pennsylvania Avenue in Sheboygan. So there they are. That looks like somebody's backyard. I think they're duping us here. And there you go. So that's enough about that. During recent Happy Hour on July 6th, a handful of dog owners basked in the sunshine and chatted over cordon bleus and drinks and Mojo's menu with their dogs at their sides. A husky hopped into a chair for a better view of his owner. Bonelli's boxer greeted the other dogs with sloppy kisses. So how fun is that, right? You're bringing your dogs. I used to, at my old facility, which was in Yorba Linda, there's that husky and the boxer kissing there. In Yorba Linda, we had an office over there where we had Yappy Hour, and we have people come over. We bring an ice chest and have a couple beers. The dogs are running around inside the warehouse and that kind of stuff. We had that a couple times, and it went pretty well. I had to leave and then didn't have a place really that fit into that, which maybe our old place in Brea, we should have brought that back. But I think it's a great thing. You know, one of the things about dogs, there's studies done all the time to look at the benefits of dog ownership and having a dog around. And one of those things is for socialization, that having a dog gets you out of the house, gets you into public environments like a park and walking around. People come up and they see your dog. They go, oh, what kind of dog is that? Or where'd you get your dog trained? He seems to be so obedient. It must have been Falco K9 Academy. And you start this conversation, right? And you have this thing going on with your dog that's bringing you to meet other people that you might not normally meet or might not normally say hi to. You know, sometimes you make judgment, right? And I do that all the time. I'm a human being. I see people in my class and I'm going, wow, that guy must be, something. I was going to say gangbanger or something like that. And then he turns out to be a police officer or an FBI agent or something like that. And you're going, wow, I never would have even said hi to you, but now you're really cool, right? And so those things happen. Now I'm just making stuff up. But you know what I'm saying? You would not normally talk to somebody on your walk, but because of your dog, now there's a connection because that person either likes dogs or they have a dog or that dog likes the other dog. And you have a discussion. And so this Yappy Hour idea is just another great thing to bring your dogs out. Don't get too sloshed and wasted when you're out there with your dog, but bring your dog out, have a good time, and socialize. Let the dogs visit and learn to socialize. I think it's a great idea. I know Lazy Dog I brought that up earlier, is a great restaurant we have here in Orange County. There's one in Huntington Beach. It's actually Westminster, but I think they call it Huntington Beach. There's one in Orange and one here in Brea. And they allow you to bring your dogs out into the patio. They have bowls of water. They know how to seat you according to dog. They have it all down pat. They even have a dog paw, which I don't like dog paws and logos. They're just overused, and I just don't like dog paws. So if you're going to ever create a logo for me, don't use a dog paw. Just don't do that. But I love Lazy Dog, and it's okay that they have a dog paw as part of the logo. But they have dogs there in their patio, and again, they know how to do it. They know how to handle it and that kind of stuff. And I've been there, I don't know, 20 times, 30 times. over my life between the one in Orange and the one in Westminster and the one in Brea. And I've never seen an incident with a dog, knock on wood. There's going to be one today, and they'll never have dogs there again. But let's let's hope that doesn't happen. All right, so let's go back to the stories here real quick. And we're going to look at, looking for the best pet ever. I should have actually saved this one for the last. Yeah, let's save that one for last. Market helps with dog training. Kudos to Vancouver. Now, this is Vancouver, Washington, or Vancouver, Oregon. Is there a Vancouver, Oregon, too? Somebody write in the comments to tell me if there's if there's a Vancouver. I'm just a horrible person. I don't know all these things. I need to, even though I've traveled to all these places, I don't know all the details. But somebody let me know if there's a Vancouver, Oregon. There probably is. Hold on. Did I switch to the wrong thing? Do you guys already see an article? Yeah, you're seeing the articles. Okay. So in Vancouver, we're going to assume that is Washington. Farmers market organizers and their practice of allowing well-behaved dogs to attend. There are precious few venues where those of us with working dogs can go to train under realistic conditions. For years, we've been regulars using, usually with 2 of our Goldens. Currently, we are working with Crunch and Jasper, getting Jasper ready to evaluate as a therapy dog. Crunch has been working the hospitals, jails, libraries, drug rehab, and many other places over the years. Jasper at age 2 is still very much the training mode. The weekend of the art fair was wonderful for the dogs. I've been to that art fair, and that one's in Portland, Oregon, but it's right on the border there between Washington and Oregon. Huge crowds, lots of petters, and many other dogs, which we train our dogs to lead it. We have a suggestion. Could someone please outlaw flex leads? The leashes that extend to 16 feet or more. Just allow a standard 6-foot lead for everyone's safety. On several occasions with my dog at a perfect heel position, she has broken, and when I look to see the problem, some dog on a flexi has its nose in their privates. This is also a tripping hazard for humans, and there are people interested in both. It says booth there. In a booth and paying, sorry, it was correct. I was wrong. In a booth and paying no attention to their dog running amok on a 16-foot lead. So she went on a little tangent there on something else. I don't know what that's like. I don't do that. So what I love about this story is that is twofold, right? It's this market allows people to bring their dogs. So trainers can have a realistic place to bring their dogs to do training. What I love about Home Depot, what I love about PetSmart and Petco is that these are realistic areas and locations that you can bring your dog to do training. And that you can, if you have a dog that's in getting ready for, say, therapy dog certification or something like that, that you will be able to go in these places, these locations, and test out your training to see how things are going. Are they going well? Are they? Is there things you need to work on? That kind of stuff. But be careful. Don't ruin it for everybody, right? If your dog is not ready, and you still see lots of aggression, you still find it hard to control. Don't say, well, let's just see what happens in Home Depot, because what will end up happening is that it'll make it hard for us and other people who know when to go there with a certain dog and don't go there when the dog still needs work. All right. So just please. Try to only use those places when you're ready with your obedience. We need more places like this market that lets people bring their dogs and feels comfortable with dogs and that kind of stuff. And maybe even have somebody there to educate people with their dogs. Have somebody putting on a 60-minute seminar within some type of market or something every so often. That would be fantastic, right? And it would be a really good thing to do. But I love that story in the fact that she goes off and she starts talking about the flexi. I hate the flexis too. Flexis have their use, but not in a public environment where you're expecting obedience. A 6-foot line, what they said there. Whoever this woman is, she's fantastic. What was her name again? Oh no, it's a man. Sorry. No, that's the dude who wrote the piece. He could be the same one, but Scott doesn't have the name of the person that was talking in that particular thing. Maybe it is Scott. So Scott, great job. Yeah, flexis are not meant for walking around with obedience. It's just not one of those things that is a useful tool, because they do extend out. People don't know when to extend them. They don't know that your dog is really good on leash, but just doesn't like a nose up their butt, right? It's just you cannot you cannot have your dog visiting without asking somebody first. And those flexies, unfortunately, allow too much freedom. And they probably, if they're using those, they probably they don't want to do obedience. In other words, keep their dog near their side, so they get the flexies because they're tired of the dog pulling on them, and they're really bad for people who don't know how to train their dog because they use them to let their dog go free because they're tired of the dog pulling on their arm. It's just not good. Don't get a flexi and take your dog into a public location. You could have it handy for the times that you may need it, which is sometimes on a hike, sometimes when you're doing tracking, if you're doing tactics where you're trying to move forward with a SWAT team, the flexi is great for that, a professional flexi line, and it's called a retractable when it's used in tactical and police work. When it's used by a pet person, it's called a flexi. All right, so make sure and use the right tool for that. All right, let's go back over to our articles. And oops, went to CrossFit. All right, now let's go back to looking for the best dog, the best pet ever. What breeds or mix is the most trainable, least trainable, the most dangerous, and make the worst or best pets ever? And great job by Chandra Lynn Smith, who I'm sure is a dog trainer or behaviorist, or whatever you want to call them these days. And she answers, that is a loaded question. In many ways, the answers here rely upon the owners more than the dogs. I don't think it's possible for a dog to become the best pet ever unless she has owners who are also the best ever. Let me answer your question by breaking it into several, I guess, questions. Which breed or mix is the most trainable? Every dog is born with the potential to be the most trainable dog. Honest. The real question is, and are his owners trainable? Dogs do not flunk obedience school. People do. It is impossible for a dog to take even the shortest, most basic obedience program and learn nothing. If the owners take the instructions seriously, work with the dogs, and particularly apply what they learn, there is no failure. The failure comes when owners do not train their dogs or fail to apply the commands they learned in class. Remember, every dog can be trained. Which breed or mix is the most stubborn, dangerous, or aggressive? Every dog is stubborn. Every dog can be dangerous. Every dog can be aggressive, and every dog owner would do well to remember this. Contrary to popular belief and hype, there is not a breed of dog or mixed breeds more likely to be aggressive than others. Certainly, each dog breed, the characteristics behavior that are common to the breed and while some dogs are inherently happy-go-lucky and others are instinctively protective and dominant, there is no breed more aggressive than another. An untrained, uncorrected, aggressive dog is dangerous. A cornered, neglected, or abused dog without training and love is dangerous. You must understand every dog has the potential to be aggressive and dangerous. The only way to prevent it is to train your dog and be the master of its life. Which breed or mix makes the worst pet? It's not a breed thing. An unexercised, untrained dog that was not taught the rules or does not have to obey them and is the master of his family will be the worst pet. Any dog can be the worst pet ever. Sadly, usually the worst pet ever have the worst owners ever. So we can go on, and it actually does just not go on very far. But you got the point, right? We talk about this in our training. So what I loved about the article is it really does point out the stuff that we talk about all the time. And I wanted to make sure that you hear it from somebody else. And this is a really well done article. And it is so true. And even, I talk to people all the time and say, when can I leave my dog alone with my 2-year-old? And I say, never. You never should leave a dog alone with your 2-year-old because that dog, put in the right situation, can become aggressive. And it's been seen. It's been documented. It doesn't get as documented as much as when it happens to a pit bull, right? It doesn't get as documented as much as when it happens to a Rottweiler or a German Shepherd because those are big, hard, biting dogs that cause a lot of damage, right? And so here comes the but part. Yes, any dog can become aggressive, but a Chihuahua is a nasty, aggressive dog, right? If you go to anybody's house as a Chihuahua, not all of them, sorry, all you Chihuahua, yours is not. All right, but there's a lot of other Chihuahuas that are very nasty, nervous, nilly, biting dogs. But because their bite doesn't really cause that much damage, a few bites here may have a puncture at best, and mostly scratches and little just annoying bruises. But you take that same amount of aggression, that same amount of nervousness or fear, and you put it into a big dog like a pit bull or a German Shepherd or a Rottweiler, and now you have stitches, you got open wounds, you got plastic surgery, and sometimes broken bones. All right, so and what she said there is perfect. Is that every dog is aggressive. There's no one breed that's more aggressive than the other. It's the bite, right, and the size of the dog, the damage that's caused that is probably the biggest thing. Yes, pit bulls have a harder bite, and Rottweilers have a hard bite. They actually break bones. Pit bulls get to a point where it's really hard to get them off, so you have to use a pry stick to get their jaws open. You would not have to. You just use your fingers on a Chihuahua, right, if they bite down hard. And maybe grab something down in the nether regions, and they'll let go really fast. All right, and so those are the differences. Now, that she really put a lot of emphasis on the humans, and that's for good reason. As we talked about before, is that our tagline is human training for your dog, and it's really important to be able to train the human being and let them understand. And you ask, well, how come my last dog I didn't have to do anything? Well, that was that dog, right? I talk about my dog Hazel that my wife selected. And that dog just seems to be one of the most perfect dogs ever. The dog still does get out. The dog still goes and rushes people and barks at other at dogs, rushes dogs to go play with them and smell their butts and that kind of stuff. So she's a typical dog. It's not that she doesn't do that, but there's a lot of things that we didn't ever had to train her. Like we tell her to go outside and she just goes outside. We tell her to sit and she just for some reason knew to sit. It's very strange. I point down to the ground and she lays down. And so it took no effort, right? Some of the dogs take effort, right? Like Huskies, that breed, sometimes takes a little bit more effort. And so don't get that kind of dog if you're not willing to put in the effort. If you get a dog that has fear issues and aggression issues and it came to you like that, it may have some baggage, it may have some genetic issues, and it's going to take some work, and it's going to be a forever thing with that dog. So it's just the human needs to understand that kind of thing is going on. So I love that article. As usual, I'll put the links of these articles in the comment section. Sometimes I do it right away. Sometimes I do it at the end of the day. But they will be up there at some point, and you will be able to see these articles. All right, let me just go to one more. And that is on the left now. I didn't have them in order. All right, so this article that I found comes from 2010. But on July 15th, as you're going to see here on my list of dog holidays, on July 15th is National Pet Fire Safety Day. It's sponsored by the National Volunteer Fire Council, and ADT Security Services, and the American Kennel Club. I wonder how people get on this list and make up stuff. Tomorrow is Falco Dog News Day, officially. I'm going to make that. All right, so July 10th. All right, so let's go back to the article. So this article comes from 2010. An estimated 500,000 pets are affected annually by home fires. However, nearly 1,000 house fires each year are accidentally started by the homeowner's pets, according to a new data analysis by the National Fire Protection Association. Remember, this article is from 2010. The American Kennel Club and ADT Services have joined forces once again for the third annual National Pet Fire Safety Day, July 15th, to spread awareness about how pets can start home fires, but more importantly, how to prevent them. Not many pet owners realize that their pets can actually be the cause of devastating fire, said AKC spokesman Lisa Peterson. Simple preventative measures such as flameless candles, stove knob covers, can mean the difference between life and death for the four-legged friends. I guess I could bite them and turn them and push them in at the same time. I don't know. Somebody needs to send me a note in comments when the last time they saw a dog turn the knob on the stove to turn it on the on position. I don't know that that's ever happened. I don't know how that could. They don't have thumbs. Chris and Kay Wardlow of Oklahoma know that all too well. Their curious dog Lucy was home alone and spied a cake on the stove top. As Lucy tried to get a taste, her paw accidentally hit the stove. I guess I should have read the whole article before I spoke too soon. Hit the stove knob and turned on the gas burner that was under the cake pan. I wonder if it's just one of those old stoves that you don't have to push in and turn. Do you still have to do that? I could be just smoking crack and don't know that's not. You don't have to do that anymore. I've made stuff on the stove and I don't remember having to. I remember having to push it in first and then turn it. But I guess it is possible. So there you go. So when you get a dog, you're going to have to baby-proof your house like you would if you have a baby. Within minutes, the house was filled with smoke. triggering the Wardlow ADT monitoring and smoke detector. Firefighters were called to the scene. The house was saved and Lucy was rescued. Planning the unexpected emergencies like home fires and taking these precautions are an integral part of responsible pet ownership, Peterson said. AKC and ADT offer the following tips to educate the pet owners. Okay, these are the fun ones that I saw. Extinguish open flames. Well, that would be a good idea. Pets are generally curious and will investigate cooking appliances, candles, and even a fire in your fireplace. Ensure the pet is not left unattended around an open flame. Good idea. Remove stove knobs. All right, I think that was just one of those weird accidents. Just perfect timing, and I don't know. But you can do that if you want to. So remove the stove knobs or put those covers on like you would with your kids. Invest in flameless candles. These candles contain a light bulb rather than an open flame. What are you going to do at night when you're trying to get busy with the spouse? You're going to those don't work, the lights. You need flame, right, to light the flame. Beware of water bowls on wooden decks. Now, this was kind of interesting because I don't remember. Now, I think maybe a rescue, you find this dog, you just grab a bowl really quick, and it can be glass. But we have stainless steel in ceramic, right? Do not leave a glass water bowl for your pet outside on a wooden deck. Yeah, really good idea. The sun's rays, when filtered through the glass and water, can actually heat up and ignite the wooden deck beneath it. Choose stainless steel or ceramic bowls instead. Yes. Don't put a glass bowl of water on your deck. Really, really good idea. Keep pets near entrances when away from home. Keep pets near entrances when away from home. Keep collars on pets and leashes at the ready in case firefighters need to rescue your pet. When leaving pets home alone, keep them in areas or rooms near entrances where firefighters can easily find them. Secure young pets, especially with young puppies. Keep them confined away from potential fire-starting hazards. Good idea, such as a crate or behind baby gates and that kind of stuff. Since pets left alone can't escape a burning home, consider using monitor smoke detectors, which are connected to a monitoring center so emergency responders can be contacted when you're not home. These systems provide an added layer of protection. Affix a pet alert window cling. There you go. That was the one I would just suggest you should do. Is write down the number of pets inside the house and attach the static cling to a front window. This critical information saves rescuers time when locating your pets. There you go. All right, so National Pet Fire Safety Day on July 15th. Those are some good tips, some tips that I probably would not have brought up myself because I just never thought about dogs starting fires. And it's probably true. A dog could have hit the stovetop knob and turned on the fire and caused that fire. I was just picturing a dog getting up there and saying, I'm hungry, I want to make a tortilla and put some butter on it, and going up there and turning the knob and forgetting to turn it off. That's kind of where my mind was going. But I guess accidentally jumping up there. Dogs figure out how to open pool gates. My wife's aunt had a dog. I remember that dog shaking the bottom of the gate until the thing would start flapping so much and then would just open up. How it learned to do that, I don't know. You have dogs that know how to open kennels. I've seen dogs jump against a kennel, and after a while, they realize that whatever it is they did caused the gate to magically open, and so now they repeat it, and now they get really good at repeating that movement that it required to get that thing to pop up and to get them out, and they're getting really good at stuff like that. So that is just a wonder of pets, right? They just learn certain things, or by accident learn something. I remember my police dog at the end of the hallway. Before we went to the electronic magnet locking doors, it was a push bar, and you push the bar to get out. Right? It would just be that thing. You'd be all angry as you're going back out to patrol because you got your butt chewed by the sergeant, and you hit that door. Fly open, and just like on television, the things that happen on TV often happen for real in police departments, right? You get your ass chewed out, and you go walking out, and you slam a door, and you go out to your patrol car, and you speed off. And so that was that push bar. Well, my police dog, accidentally learned that because he wanted to go outside, he had to go potty, I think, or something like that. And so I was at the desk sergeant's office, probably talking to somebody or just leaving briefing or something like that. And the dog runs down the hallway and jumps against the door because he knew that's where we went. And this one time he accidentally hit the push bar. So he learned how to open up the door. So from the hallway, it was fun. I would leave my police car door open after I pop it to get out at the gas pumps that are right outside the door. I'd come in, talk, and then just for jokes, I would send the dog, go to the car. He would run all the way down this hallway, which was about 30 feet long. He'd hit the door, he'd go out, and then he would go inside the police car, and everybody thought it was a hoot. And one day I did that, and the new chief of police, Malloy, had just gotten there. And I didn't know that he was coming in that door, and sent my dog, and he popped the door open, scared the crap out of the new chief, and I got to meet the new chief and apologize for my dog. The dog ran right past him and went into my police car. He was both scared and amazed, and he kind of, fortunately for me, thought it was kind of funny. That was the kind of chief he was. Unfortunately, he passed away, but a really, really good chief. He loved the K9's, and I really appreciated Chief Malloy. Really good guy. And then another time, let me give you one more story. We were searching Angelo's, which is on State College Boulevard in Anaheim. It's a famous, place that we often would go to, our kids would go to cruise up State College Boulevard and play their music really loud. And then they had the roller skating waitresses that would skate around, all of them ugly, and they would skate around. So one day that place got burglarized, broken window or something like that. So I throw my dog in. I think it was a drive-in window that they had broken through. I throw my dog in. I see him in there searching. I see him go towards the back door. Now, we often put up a perimeter. We put somebody on the back side as we're searching in case the guy decides to get up and run and go out the back door and flee. And so there's a police officer back there by the door, and there's one of those push bars on it. My dog's searching, and then finally he decides, well, there's a push bar. He hits it and goes out and starts barking at the perimeter officer. That was also pretty cool, pretty funny. Not as funny as the chief of police one, though. All right. So again, remember that we're sponsored by FacebookLiveTVShow.com. Go there if you want to learn how to do one of these shows like I'm doing, and hit that. Next week we have some really cool stuff going on. I'm pretty sure we're going to be getting into our Falco Fitness and showing you how to do some of the exercises that we have planned for Falco Fitness. That'll be a new program coming out on our membership sites. Wow, I just had a brain fart. Let me just actually go to that really quick. Oh, it's not coming up. Hold on, stand by. A little technical difficulty here. I got to go to here. I got to hit this. I got to hit this. And there we go. All right, let's go to it right now. All right, so this is our website for our dog training site, Falco Canine Academy. It has a online training program with a lot of stuff in it, falcodogtraining.com. Remember that, falcodogtraining.com. You go there, you'll see up here at the top it has store, library, about us, and our blog. On the blog, I have the story of Falco Canine Academy in the beginning and that kind of stuff. So make sure and check out our blog. We have a little bit of about us, about my history and some of the things that we've done and all that kind of stuff. Our bed bug detection, dog stuff, International Police Canine Conference instructor, all that kind of stuff. And then we have our library of things that we have to offer. Here's that Falco Fitness that is coming soon. And then we have a kid and dog training that's still in production that we have to get a few more videos before I go live with that. And there you go. So that's the library of things we have to offer. And then the store is where you purchase them. So you go to the store, which is actually the homepage that you're going to come to when you go to falcodogtraining.com. And down here, you're going to see our programs. So we have day-to-day dog training. That is where we just put all the stuff that you need to know about day-to-day living with your dog. So if something comes up about, my dog, oh gosh, let me think of one of the things that are in there. Shoot, I can't remember one of the things that are in there. Hold on, it should come up here. Nope. I have to buy my own program. But like what leash I should get or that kind of stuff. Oh, I just got rid of the whole kit and caboodle. Let's bring it back. Here it is. So day-to-day dog training, just things that are going on dog training. Website. Sorry, you're getting to see me operate all the stuff in the background here. So just anything that happens today. I don't know why I'm having a brain fart. Just like stuff. Why does my dog run out the front door, right? And how do you work on that? How should I feed my dog properly? There we go. This is what you need to do to feed your dog properly so your dog will begin to respect you and love you and that kind of stuff. So just day-to-day stuff, and we're adding to it all the time. Dog park etiquette, what you need to know before you take your dog to the dog park. How to use the dog park effectively so that you can be more connected to your dog, so your dog can have a better experience at the dog park this is what you find in Dog Park Etiquette. For right now, it's still free. So you're going to want to make sure and get in that, because pretty soon, I think by the end of the week, we're going to make that $7.99 because there's a lot of value in there. And so, but for right now, if you're watching this, you can get in there for free. So go to dogtraining.com, go to the store, and go to Dog Park Etiquette 101. Our 7-week dog owner training course, it's the same one that we put our owners through in the field, which is $175. So if you don't want to have somebody yell at you, like one of our trainers like Gina or Derek, and sometimes myself when we're out there, if you just want to do it on your own using videos, you get extensive training in this particular program. It's only $79, not $175 like the live program is, and that's because we don't have to pay anybody to be there, right? You do it on your own. But it's extensive course. It's well worth more than that $79. Actually, it should probably be like $200 because you get more videos than than anything else. You get how to find the right leash, how to find the right collar. You get all the ins and outs about getting your dog to sit and stay and down and come when you call it and that kind of stuff. And it's very, very extensive. So $79 is a steal. If you are interested in German Shepherd rescue and shelter as a volunteer or a foster, this training course talks to you about how to do that well, so that the dog is better than when you got him. Right, and so the dog will be better than when he arrived in the shelter, better than when he arrived in the rescue, better than when he arrived at your home if you're a foster or you're a volunteer. It's only $2.99, but it's a very extensive training just specifically for German Shepherds in rescues and shelters. If you have mixed German Shepherd, it's still good for that too. The next one we have here is feeding your dog raw and natural recipes. It's just a number of videos that I show you through the video. It's kind of like a cooking show, but for dogs. And I'm showing you how to cook it. I'm showing you the dog's actually eating the meal, and you see that they don't die because they're eating raw food. They actually live and thrive, and their coat gets really nice. It's fun to do, and it's probably about the same price as what you would pay for a really good bag of dog food. So don't think that it's so expensive that you can't do it. You can actually go to a very inexpensive grocery store and get human-grade food and feed it to your dog. So raw chicken and the bones and everything, you give that to the dog. It's just fantastic. You got to get in there. And those of you that are bed bug detection dog handlers, we have our bed bug detection dog training course, which is right there. It shows you how to train your dog for bed bug detection. And then right down here, we have Train the Dog Trainer course, which is another extensive course where we go through all kinds of stuff, all the stuff that I use in our training and to create the training that we've done over the last 30 years and adding to that all the time too. All right, we're actually due to put up about 3 or 4 new videos that I've put together, and they will be up there soon, just going through some final edits and that kind of stuff. And don't forget that next Saturday we have something very special planned, and I'm hoping it's going to come through. I'm very excited. I just don't want to tell you what it is, because if it doesn't, then you won't be as disappointed. But it's going to be in the lines of Falco Fitness. So I'm just hoping it's all going to work out, that we're going to be able to give you some cool stuff to watch. Because not only will we have our show, but then we're going to have a demonstration on how to do some really cool exercises and things with your dogs. And I'm hoping it's going to work out. If it doesn't work out next Saturday, then it will be very, very soon. All right. I hope that you enjoyed this show. It was packed full. And it was only 48 minutes. But it was packed full. Just some exciting stuff. I'm looking forward to the TV stuff. Looking forward to Falco Fitness and getting that on board as we're going through the summer. And you can do more stuff with your dog. Get your dog out of the backyard, and both of you will get nice and fit. We have Gina, who's just on fire right now. We had a meeting yesterday. Yes, yesterday. And she's on fire. She's got a lot of great things planned. I'm giving her some things that we've done over the years that she's going to implement. And then, of course, she has her own great, fantastic ideas, which are going to be fantastic. I just know it. Derek's there adding his sense of humor, his expertise. I saw him all week working with some board and trained dogs. We have a lot of dogs here boarding and training right now, like 5 or 6, which is a lot for right now. In the summertime, people are usually vacationing with their dogs, taking them to place and that kind of stuff. But we have a lot. That's just about where we like to hold it. If we get too many, of course, then it's hard to manage all those dogs, and it just takes a lot of effort, because we want to make sure that your dog gets the time put into him that the dog deserves. And so we have that stuff going on. All right. If you have any questions, make sure and send a comment into this particular video in the replay down there in the comments. If you have any desire to join one of our live training programs, you just call the office, 714-990-9010, and visit our website and go to falcodogtraining.com. And remember our sponsor, Facebook Live TV Show.com. And if you want to learn how to do these shows using your computer, being able to share the screen like I share, because you can't obviously do that on your phone. If you've ever done Facebook Live, you can't do that. You can point your phone, I guess, at your computer so people can see it, but it's really hard to do what it is that I did today, share the articles with and that kind of stuff. I could actually have played some of the videos on some of those articles, but it's all about me. I want to be the only one on camera, and there you go. I was able to throw a little bit of my opinion of police work today in there. I'm going to leave it at this because I want to make sure that we are leaving here on an upbeat note and can tackle the day and just think about our future and consider, just pray for the families over there in Dallas and just see what we can do for them to bring up their lives and to do things a little bit differently in response to what happened in Dallas. All right, take care. Love you guys. I will see you at the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.